Record the original one, huh? I won't record
but
the
even
audio.
though we speak about oil and moed a lot, it is necessary to give it a bit of a context, so to speak. How do you relate to this moed? Moed is some kind of a mysterious reality. How does moed translate from our perspective in our world? What is the difference if you have oil or you have moed? So although we have discussed this multiple times, but sometimes without putting your finger on it, you can talk about it and not realize what you're really talking about. Coming back to the Mashalim that we have, the first Mashal that is, it should be very clear to us. The human being is a very special creation, divine creation, where God describes him as B'tzalmenekid Musay. There's something phenomenally real about the human being, to the extent that he is really the center of the world. Here's what the world is about. And then, once that is established, you say, no, wait a second. You have to learn how to behave. You have to do this and you have to do that. So which is it? The presence of the human being or his behavior that is so significant? So we know offhand that it is not the behavior, because if it were behavior, you can teach this behavior to a cat. Would that have significance? Would that replace the human activity? So we know clearly no. On the other hand, a human being does not know how to behave properly and does not care for proper behavior. It is not really so to fulfill his place, his mission as a human being. This discussion came to me as I was learning some of the Amorim of Sukkot, where it's explained on Sukkot you do Nisach HaYayin and Nisach HaMayim. how does water compare to wine? How does water compare to wine?
Wine is tasteless.
Is what?
Water is tasteless. Tasteless. Doesn't have
Tasteless.
taste.
Colorless and tasteless.
Colorless and tasteless, and wine has taste
Highest taste and more than taste.
and
It hits you in the head.
And it hits you in the head. Especially Bordeaux.
And it's a completely different, there's no comparison. On the functional level, there's no comparison between wine and water. And yet, it makes such a huge fuss about the water, pouring water on the Mizbeach. There is no joy, the Gemara says, as that on the time when Eden went out to fetch water for Nisach HaMayim. So it's explained that Mayim and Yayin are chochmah and binah. Mayim represent chochmah, and Yayin represents binah. And here again, binah, as we are learning, binah speaks in terms of hasoga, of grasping, of getting it, of actually bringing it to you, and it should have effect on you. You have full comprehension to the point where it affects you, your midas, it affects everything. Chochmah is a distant concept. In Al Mashalim, it's like sight. Sight, you see things from a distance. You just see it. You never have the ability to touch it and to relate to it. It's just there. And yet this is chochmah and this is binah. And what is the significance of this chochmah? The same thing translated on the first Moshe, on the human being. A human dwelling is very clearly identifiable. With all its amenities and the cleanliness, everything. Say, oh, this is a human being, a human dwelling. Yet, as we already discussed, the dwelling with all the amenities does not capture and bring out the presence of the human being himself. There's something unique about that that cannot be substituted. So I thought about it over the Yom Tov, of course of this Maimonim and all that. I'm looking for a quick pointer so that we shouldn't spend the whole time on this. So it's an interesting halach. You all know that to be toivel, mituma l'tahara, you have to be toivel in a gathering, in a mikveh of memso. Memso, 40 saw, the minimum size of a mikveh. You can be toivel in anything less than 40 saw, you're not toivel. This is true in all kinds of waters, except of Mayim Chayim. What's Mayim Chayim? Living water. Water that comes directly from the spring. Spring water is metahe b'ma b'kosher. Huh?
It's always that. It's always power.
Kosher, any amount, a drop. If you can cover yourself in a drop of Mayim Chayim, you're tired. And that's the best type of
To remain on this call, press 1.
The super tahara is from this mayon. There are certain tumas that mikveh does not even tire. Like a zov, you have to have maim chayim.
And you have mikveot that have the spring water. You have some mikveot that have the spring water constantly feeding the mikveh.
Yeah, but that's the spring water. That doesn't change the mikveh. That doesn't make the mikveh. The size of the mikveh doesn't count. It's insignificant. And there are many differences, significant between spring water, between maim chayim, and gathered water. This will give us, if we think into it, will give us some kind of an insight to understand what's made a mo'ir. Something that has initial and essential life. His life is self-created. Does not come from any place. It represents the truth present, the godly presence. The reality, the godly reality itself. There's no measure to that, and there's no limit to that. What happens in the presence of the mo'ir? Like we said, the mikveh is matayr, mine is matayr b'kolshu. The mo'ir also illuminates b'kolshu. B'kolshu means the very presence. Let's say we're talking about the human being. The very presence of the human being before you even said hello, before you even examined what kind of person he is, how he behaves, and so on. His presence changes the entire environment. That's a phenomenal impact because of this principal reality that he represents. Everything that a human being will learn throughout a lifetime, starting from Alabais and Ivre and Chumash and Gemara and Mishnayos and Chassidus and Pnimis Atir, everything that he will ever learn, which will illuminate the world, is already included in the initial presence of this human being. We cannot go innovate anything on top of this. All that is drawn from the truth of the human being. Like we said, you can have, I mentioned a cat because it's already Rambam. Anything else will not do, no matter how much you've invested and how successful the investment is. It's nothing. There's nothing to it. Because you're missing the initial reality, the wellspring. If you're missing the wellspring, you have nothing. On the other hand, and here is where our challenge is, Oir is a gilui from the Moir. We must not lose sight and understand that Oir is not just the functional aspect of the Moir. That the presence of the human being is only the fact that he is functional human being, is clean, his dress is nice, all the things that makes for respect and all that. There was a Gzeira, Takon Chachomim. I don't know if you're aware of this, but it's an important Takon. Takon Chachomim was that when a person takes a washing, he washes himself in clean water after a mikveh, he becomes tummy right away again. This is the Gzera from Tisha Kavin. He was just in the mikveh, and he goes in the shower and washes off the dirty water from the mikveh. Might as well go back into the mikveh. What was the takona about?
So you can't take a shower after you immerse in the mikveh?
Not immediately, no.
There's people doing this.
People do it. Thank you. The Rambam speaks about it. The Rambam says, the mikvahs in those days were not what we have now, filtered water and all that. The mikvahs literally were dirty water. Much more than human sweat. Real dirty water. And the Rambam says you should know, that dirty water makes you toher. And if you afterwards you go and take a shower, that'll make you toher. And the Rambam explains an interesting thing. When a person, what happened, this is what the Gzera stems from, that people began to say that the clean water is what's matayr the person. It's clean water. The mikveh, that's only a measure. How much clean water do you need? How dirty are you? The mikveh is nothing. It makes you dirty. So Rambam says, listen to what Rambam. This is das hayishmaelim. This is not even a Jewish concept. If you're infected by the das of the Ishmaelim, you should know, if you perceive this way, that's where you got it. By Yidden, it's dirty water, but it's mikveh water. It's spring water. It's water connected to the source. That enables you to have an aliyah with the Torah. It enables you to do all the things. This is the pshat mo'ir, and we should not. And oir is also has that. What you have to remember, not to dissociate the oir from the mo'ir, not to emphasize the functional aspect. To understand this is oir because it comes from the mo'ir. The impact of the mo'ir is still with the oir, because oir is a gilui of the mo'ir. When is oir a gilui from the mo'ir? When you are relating to the essence of that oil. Where does it come from? Why is it here? Not what its effect is, what its function is. So these words, Bibchinas Gilui Mino Etzel, that oil, that is, I'm reading, this is the 6th line from the top on Ois Mem, on page 7. Bibchinas Gilui Mino Etzel. Gilui Mino Etzel means you have an Etzel quality in this Gilui. And this is where it's very easy to lose sight. The oil, it makes me able to see. It's light. It's wonderful. And you lose sight. You lose realization. Where does this oil come from? Who created it? What does it represent? One more, I don't know if I should go that far, but just since I went this far. Moir represents the creator of the world.
No.
This is what its significance is. And therefore, a gilu minhu etzem. I add the word etzem. We spoke many times that etzem is doesn't exist on the worldly scale. Only God can create etzem. Again, we discuss it a lot in all kinds of mashurim and so forth. Okay, so this is what I felt I should add to there. Okay, so we will start after the parentheses, where we were up to before. Shall count the lines, talk about 9 lines, I think. At the end of the line it begins Gezehu. The beginning of the line is hitlabshut. So we're talking about Ila v'Olu and Oyer and Moyer. So Ila v'Olu is a ha'ora, which means it does not have anything of the guf and etzem hamoichin. Remember this day that we had a whole discussion about guf and etzem hamoichin. Anybody remember that? So guf and that which is not guf and the chitzonius also has a ha'ora, but it's a completely different light. This is a functional light. Guf etzem hamoichin, this is where the moichin comes from. Okay. What time is it,
9.
9? Okay. This is what we're going to daven with today. I just felt that I had to add this in.